Okay, so this will be a video on how to use HardCMP to modify hardpoints on a ship in Freelancer. The first thing you want to do is download HardCMP, which I will put a link in the description to this exact page. Click download now. It downloads the file, and there you go. Just open it when it's done, and install. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have the mod installed for obvious reasons. Then we'll open HardCMP and open. Click open. Then we need to navigate to the Freelancer ships folder. So we get there by, if you start in the C local disk, you'll go through program files x86, and then I have to go through Windows. Well, to explain real quick, normally you'll go through program files. I have 2 installations of Windows, so I click this first, which is essentially the old version of C. So yeah, anyways, so from C you'll go through program files, x86, find Microsoft Games, Freelancer, data, and then ships, which is here. Alright, so from here we need to find where your ship is located, the CMP file. This will be found by either, well, it depends on how the modder made it for your ship. If it's a themed ship, it'll be located in the default faction ships. Like here under Liberty, the mod I have on, which is Shattered Worlds, has a bunch of extra ships because they're themed with the Liberty ones, so that's one way they did it. Another way it could possibly be done is here's like the guild is a custom faction, so they made their own folder and stuck a bunch of ships in here in a similar way, so you might find it in there. Or it could be like here, this Revan ship is just a ship by itself, and then inside is the folder you're looking for. So you just have to look around a little bit, try to find it. And then for purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to use the Ranger, which is a modded ship for Shattered Worlds. Kind of like the Patriot, but better. Alright, so then down here, click Solid Wireframe, which will change it between a solid and wireframe look and spare your eyes. Alright, so then we need to, where is it? Click New to create a new hardpoint. Revolute and Fixed. This is the type of hardpoint, which fixed hardpoints are generally things like the ship's wings and such, things that won't move but break apart on the ship, where the engine is, etc. So we'll choose Revolute for a weapon and go to HP weapon at the bottom, and make sure use numbering scheme is checked on, and attach it to the root. Depending on your ship, you might have different options in here. Root is the best option if you have it, because what it's attached to will determine what, like, for example, if your ship has wings, and as it gets lower and lower on health, the wings fall off. If it's attached to that wing, then your gun will fall off too, even if the gun's like not actually attached to it on the model. So choosing root is probably just the best option, because then it never falls off. Otherwise, you might want to try to attach it to like the wings or whatnot, but if you don't want to really bother with that, just stick to root. So yes, Revolute, choose HP weapon, use numbering scheme is checked, click OK. And we have a new hardpoint, which is kind of in the middle of the ship right now. So then we need to move it where we want the turret, or rather, the gun to be. So that's done with this over here. We have the position, orientation, and weapon axis. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but that's not relevant. So for the position, you'll just have to pretty much guess until you get it right. And then click apply. Alright, so that moves it to the side of the ship. X-axis is like left to right here. Y is up and down. And Z is forwards and backwards. Just to help out there. So I'm gonna try and put the hardpoint right here on the back of the ship, kind of. So let's see. We need to move it up a bit. Let's try 2. Click apply. And we need to move it back a bit. Do another 2. Apply. It's almost there. It's a little hard to see, but the box is floating. For now, I'm just going to get the orientation right before we're trying to get it perfectly on there. So I'll do a 45-degree orientation on the x-axis, which rotates as if you're looking here. So it'll rotate clockwise or counterclockwise here. Y-axis rotates clockwise or counterclockwise if you're looking from above. And then the z-axis rotates it this way, I believe. At any rate, orientation on X, 45 degrees. Click apply. Turns it this way. So yeah, for a lot of this, you might just mess around with it to get a feel for it on what you need to be done. And that looks about right. Now, something to know about this thing here is it's not entirely accurate. I mean, if you know how a ship or the guns in the game look like, it's not a huge box. So the gun would be basically in the middle and maybe a little bit down. So we want to actually embed this box a ways into the ship. So we'll start doing that. Do like, say, 1.7 to make it go down a little bit. Apply. And I think that looks good. It's pretty close. Alright, so now that we've got what looks to be good hardpoint, we just click validate. And that kind of saves the options here. And we will click, where is it? New. I'm going to make one for the other side. Do the same thing, Revolute, HP weapon, numbering scheme. Note how it automatically adds 06 to the end. Attach to the root, click OK. And now, really quick, I'll click validate and go back. So if you want to mirror something, it's usually pretty easy to just put in the same values and then mess around with putting negatives on certain ones, because then it'll just flip it to the other side, the opposites. So we have 2, 1.7, 2. I'll just put those in. And it's 45 degrees on the Z. Alright, so now we have these in the same spot. So if we want this to go over here, we want to negative on the x-axis, since the x is what makes it move left to right. Click apply. Now it's on the opposite side in the exact same position. And we also need to flip the orientation. Instead of turning to the left, we want it to turn to the right. So we'll negative the x orientation. And there we have it. 2 weapon points. Oops. Validate to save it. That are on both sides of the ship like this. And there we go. So, again, to reach on the fact that this isn't like entirely accurate to where your hardpoint will be and why we embed it, you might have to finick around with it a little bit, save it, go in the game, see what it looks like, and then come back out and adjust it. So we'll see how it looks in game. So now we want to save this. I had trouble saving it, the actual file, so what you want to do is just do save as, and because you want to make backups, this is just a good thing. So do save as instead of a direct save. Click yes to save it. And then we'll just name it li_ranger new. And save that in the same folder. So now we have the new ship with its hardpoints saved in there, the CMP file. We'll close HardCMP now and navigate with the Windows Explorer back to the Freelancer folder, which is, again, and I'll put this in the description so you can just copy paste it if you want. The local disk, program files x86, Microsoft Games, Freelancer, data, ships, So our ship is in Liberty LI Ranger. So here we have our original and our new CMP files. We're going to want to make a backup of both of these. Now the reason you want to back up also your new one is because if you ever remove the mod, it's going to also remove the modded ship file. And then when you reinstall it, it'll likely as not be the original one. So you want to save your new one so you can then replace it per se to add all those hardpoints back on. So now that we have a backup of both of these, we will delete the normal Ranger here and replace it with our Ranger new by renaming it to LI Ranger. And so that's the first step. The next part that's a little bit trickier is that we have to modify the ship arc.ini, which I'll show you. It's down here, this little file. So again, we probably should make a backup of this, always a good thing to do. So make a new folder, just call it backup, and copy this in. Alright. Oh, you also are going to want to make a backup of the new ship arc.ini as well, which we'll do after we modify it, because this should be changed when you get a modded ship in the game, because they have to add stuff in there for it. So anyways, we'll open this. If double clicking it does not work, you can just do right click, open with notepad, and that'll open it up in a file like this. Then we need to do edit and find. And then we know that the ship was called li_ranger is where the .cmp is called that we modified. So type what your ship's the CMP file is that we saved earlier. Type the name in here, click find, and then when you click it, it should find down here, and then just cancel that. So now this here is the ship information for the ship we modified. So we'll want to scroll down and look here for the HP type equals and then all this. So I'm not 100% sure on this, but I know how to get it to work. Like, you know here how there's HP type equals and then we have HP gun special 1. I don't know exactly what all these are, but if you notice here, let me open up HardCMP again real fast. That when we look in here, we have HP weapon 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have a torpedo 1, and then weapons 5 and 6. So if we look on here, we have weapons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I already modified this, son of a... Okay, let's just pretend I didn't do that. I forgot to fix this before doing it. So it'll normally look like this. So we have weapons 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the torpedo 1. And then below that we have 5 and 6. Now, the order doesn't particularly matter, but 5 and 6 are the ones we added. When you're in the game, this order determines what order the weapons are listed in. So when you first put a weapon in the list, it'll go where this hardpoint is, and then this one, etc., etc., with the torpedo being at the bottom. So it's up to you where to put it. For simplicity, you can just add at the end, and then copy these over. So you'll have HP weapon 5 and 6, like this. And then we'll copy this and do that to both of them. So now we have all the hard points listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our torpedo 1. Which also is a gun slot. It works either way. I'm not 100% sure if that's a mod or not for torpedoes. But that is what a gun slot would be, is the weapons here. So just add the extra hard points you put on here. And I did not add them here because this only has weapons 3 and 4. It ignores the first two. And I don't know why. So we should always have all the guns, so I just added it to these ones. Adding it here would probably not harm anything. So this will take a little bit of guesswork on your part. Just find the one that looks like it has a similar amount of weapons as you have the hard points for. And then just add to the end, just add more of these HP weapons to the end. And continue counting all the way up till... what were you gonna add? Like 18 of them? So you'll just go through 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way until you reach, well, probably more than 18 since it's 18 plus what you originally had. Oh, and so on a note, I'll just show you in here real quick for the counting scheme, just so you don't mess this up. When you add a lot of weapons, once you get past 10 or 9, it starts to count differently. You notice how we have like 08 and 07 and all those numbers. So here we got to 09. Now, whoops. Weapon 10 counts like this. So it's not O's anymore, it's now 1 O. And so on and so forth. And 1 1. Now, in the extremely rare case that you're going to add more than 100 guns to this, you can do 011 and continue, or start counting with 2 zeros in the front. So you start for your first gun would be 001 and then 002, and then you could count all the way up to 999. But there isn't much reason to do that. So in this case, you'll just keep counting from 09. It'll go to 10 and then 11 and then 12. So, no, I don't want to save that. So now that we have our weapons on added here, we will save this, close it, go back to here, and now we'll copy this, or we'll rename it really quick to modded, I guess. Copy that, and then rename it back to just ship arc, and make a backup of that. Oh. Sigh, renaming things. Ship arc modded. Copy that in here, and then go back and rename it into ship arc. So now we have a modified ship arc file, and that is it. Now when you play it in the game, it should work properly, which I'll show you really fast. Normally it says 5 guns. Clearly it has more than 5. It has 7. So we've added 2 of these here. Also something I'm probably going to edit into the video with the YouTube to stop it. When we were modifying the ship arc, I noticed that it had like 4 classes and then the 5th one, right? So there was the first 4, which had at the front of it was like gun _ special 1, and then up to 4. And that's the ones we changed. And note that the 2 guns we added are of the class 4, as well as the other 2 being there, or 3 rather. One of these is the torpedo. But since I only went up to the 4, they're only class 4, and there was 2 of them that only went up to 4. These are also only class 4. The ones that went to the 5th, these are all class 5 now, and there was only the 3 of them, which was, I think, guns 3 and 4, the weapon 3 and 4, and then the torpedo. So that's something that you might notice, the change for the class thing. Which again, I should have put in a pause explaining all that. By the ship, keep going. Oops, not where I wanted to go. I'm gonna go over here. So yeah, now you'll notice here we have the two guns on the side, each set. I can change view, huh? So we have the two guns here, two on the other side, of course, one under here, and then the two guns we added. And there's a little bit, you can sort of see the ground. It's probably really hard on the upload, but it's there. It's not perfectly on there, so I would personally go back and edit that, but I'm too lazy. And I mean, I'm just showing you how to do it, not how to finick with the thing for an hour till it fits. I mean, it depends on how OCD you want to be about it.
The CEO of this mission.
And then I'll just take this video and show you the ship.
Ready to go. Should be an easy run.
Or rather, prove the guns
and then
work.
on to Pittsburgh. Ready? It's good to meet you, King. Is that a Rhineland cruiser? That's the Donau, Admiral Schultzky's flagship. He's visiting Manhattan to attend a high-level meeting with President Jacoby. Keep your distance.
Newark Station, this is RNC Donau, requesting clearance to dock with your station. Over.
Affirmative, Donau. You are cleared for docking point 6. Liberty welcomes you and Admiral Schultzky. Donau, be advised, we're picking up unknown contacts. Advise caution.
Understood, Newark. All escorts, power up weapons.
Affirmative. Ready to engage.
Roger. Tracking incoming ships.
Unidentified ships. This is Newark Station. You are entering restricted space. Alter course at once or we will open fire.
You do not interfere. We're here to protect the president. Schultzky's a traitor.
Launch all rescue and defensive units. All other fighters
Alright.
engage enemy ships.
Yeah, there they are. Holy crap. I am an unlucky piece of crap. Where were we?
Oh my
Fly
God.
away! Okay. Yeah, so those are the two there,
Damn it! They blew up the Donau!
as you can
Newark,
see.
this is LSF Patrol Gamma 6.
So yeah, they work.
Engaging enemy.
Of course, there's that little
Confirmed,
gap
Gamma
there,
6.
which I would personally be OCD about, but you don't have to. I mean, you can't really tell from here, so it almost doesn't matter.
Trent, we can't let them get away.
Get it
Engage
as
the enemy.
close as you like. Anyways, have fun and good luck.